Hello, welcome back to the Life by the Horns podcast. I'm your host, Justin Lee, and I couldn't be more excited for the guest I have with us today, Mr. Sam Elkind, a good friend of mine. Sam, please introduce yourself.
Yeah, what's going on, guys? My name's Sam Elkind. I first off want to thank Justin for having me on board.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for being
great,
here.
man. And I'm here today, I guess, because I started a events company.
Absolutely. Now, let me preface this. As I said before with this podcast, the true goal is to highlight students, people that are chasing their dreams, but also understanding and rectifying the fact that there are, a lot of issues that people find along the way. And overall, just, what we can learn from each other is how we all grow. So, Sam, thank you so much for being here. And, I really look forward to this conversation.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I guess moving in now to, Movement in your company, what made you directly want to start Movement? How did that all come about?
Yeah, so my buddy Alejo actually was the one who kind of approached me with the idea. But what happened was, I think it was freshman year. No. I'm trying to think of I think it was freshman year when I came in, and there was this group called First Gen. And shout out First Gen, you made it. So these guys basically, they travel around different cities and they have events with just local DJs in these colleges.
Right.
And they build their entire event and brand around this concept.
I see what you're saying.
And I sat there and, they packed the place out. I think it was a borderline sold out show at Cedar Street Courtyard. It was 800 kids, something like that. Numbers. Yeah, and so my brain, I was like, shit, I can do the same thing. All they did was
why not?
Yeah. We had my ass up there DJing. I was like,
yeah,
there's this many people here. Why don't I try to do the same thing? So that was kind of me and Alejo's both conversation we had at the start. We saw this and we realized that we could do something very similar and even bigger. The real, I guess, motive behind it was
catalyst,
the real catalyst for it was really to put me and my friends that DJ as well, in the spotlight, really to give us a platform and opportunity to perform more.
Absolutely.
And for us to make a little bit of change,
Just a little bit of change on the side. Look, you should be paid for it. You guys beyond talented, and I think that when it first came out, I thought it was a genius idea.
Yeah,
I thought that you guys were taking a concept of the Thirsty Thursday, and somewhat monopolizing it, but in a way that made sense, though, in a way that look, they saw a problem that college kids can't find a localized place on a Thursday to really hang out and find entertainment, and you guys perfectly solved the problem.
Yeah, that was the goal.
Absolutely. I mean, to your point though, I think your next event's on 420. How has that process been navigating all the strings and whatnot?
So, since Movement started, actually, Alejo's kind of gone on to another project. He's working on some more tech stuff, and so I'm kind of the main person involved with Movement. And Movement, it's kind of split into two different brands.
I have seen that, yeah.
And people are a little confused about it,
yeah.
and I'm kind of torn about if I did it too soon, or if I should have divided my customer base, if I should have made a separate brand at all. But what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to make Movement beyond college stuff. I'm trying to make it I have shit at Montopolis Bridge, after hours events from 11 to 5 a.m. where it's 18 to 30 or 5-year-olds that come out and create that kind of community and really have an emphasis on just the EDM stuff and the DJ stuff, the house music. And for the West Campus Music is I'm trying to make it more of the college brand. We're kind of doing just about everything. We got a rap event.
I saw that. That was big.
Yeah, it was a Big X the Plug. He's been blowing up.
No, he is blowing up. Absolutely.
Yeah, he's a beast. He performed really well. He sounded exactly like he did in person. He took off his shirt.
I've been seeing memes about that guy, man. I've been seeing memes.
I mean,
but no, I mean, like, look, I think he's a great artist. I think he's great. I think honestly, like, I mean, how old are you?
21.
Yeah, to be at 21, and you're booking artists that are coming up and up, you know, in the music scene. I think in your testament just to, you know, how far you can go at 21. And not that, I mean, shit, because there's a lot of people out there that, you know, see your story and they feel imposter syndrome. Like, you know, fuck, I'm 21. What the fuck am I doing? I think that we all grow in different ways, but I think that learning from people in the moment is the best way to go.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I think people don't really realize how much you can accomplish, especially in the post-COVID world, how much you can really do. Just
Absolutely.
I mean, so much of my business is just my fucking phone and laptop. Like, that's it.
To that point, how do you find that intrinsic motivation to continue doing this? Like, why are you doing this?
Sometimes, I mean, a few people ask me that here and there. It's sometimes it's difficult, honestly. I mean, even just today, I was like, damn, like, so much of my job is just like not necessarily requiring a favor from someone, but requiring a favor from someone. It's like, hey, like, can you post this on your story?
Might be the same industry.
I've texted Justin a couple times. But yeah, and I have your data.
Yo, fuck.
You're gonna get a text soon.
You're gonna get Zuckerberg.
Yeah, I know all your demographics. But yeah, I mean, it's really just. Sorry, where were we talking about?
You were talking about you know, what's your intrinsic motivation?
Yeah.
For what you're doing.
So yeah, I mean, definitely like day to day, like I said, like it's sometimes I like feel like a real piece of shit. Like at the end of the day, like I am a promoter, and like it does have that stigma associated with it. I like to call myself an event runner.
Look, I mean, I think a promoter is like you're hustling. Like that's the thing. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people just go through life playing way too much 2K, myself included. I was playing way too much 2K. No, legitimately, I simmed from NBA season 2022 to 2101 in NBA 2K over spring break, and you should have seen the disappointment in my eyes when I simmed to like the Western Conference Finals in this like 2K sim, and we lost. You know? And I say we lost. You know, we lost, and I was like, you know what? We're going to get them next year. And I simmed to the finals, right? Finals ends. 2K says, congrats, you've completed my league. And I'm thinking to myself, like, I was so excited for that next season. I would be so happy to be doing something like that. And that's why I thought I would be so happy if I was doing something so much more fulfilling with my time. So regardless of any stigma, because I think stigma's all bullshit. All that shit's bullshit.
Yeah.
You should honestly, you should feel happy with what you're doing, because to that point, what fulfills you? Does this fulfill you?
So yeah, I think it definitely does. I mean, I take a step back and realize that like I get to work with people in music. I get to work with my friends. I get to create opportunities for my friends, for myself.
Absolutely.
And create like a community around this whole thing. I think sometimes I feel like a piece of shit for asking everyone to fucking post on Instagram. But I mean, at the end of the day, yeah, I mean, I consider myself extremely lucky to be able to be doing this and making money, and hopefully I'll be able to support myself next year.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the goal. I mean, definitely a lot of different avenues you can take. Different partnerships you can make, managing of artists, that kind of thing. But I would say it fulfills me to a point, but I think I'm still looking for kind of that concept or that special something. I don't know. I look at these brands like Boiler Room or Elro or Circle, like these brands that are just doing shit that is just nuts and everybody's talking about.
Yeah.
I mean, these guys can take our Brownies and Lemonade. I don't know if you've heard of them.
No, but I assume they're underground.
I mean, these fuckers are having events in elevators, man.
No
like,
shit.
Just crazy stuff. And like, and they'll go viral. Like they'll film it and it'll go viral on YouTube. Like they'll take like big artists or like not even big artists. Like the thing about Brownies and Lemonade is they'll like take this tiny artist and completely blow them up. It's insane to see like that someone like that's not even a record label. Like it's literally just this community of people that they've created can create a whole person's career. Like they take someone that they believe in and can start someone's life, like can change someone's life forever. And so I think that's kind of like what I am looking for. Still like trying to figure out exactly what that is. I don't really know.
The world's a mystery.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe I'll fucking work for Boiler.
You know what? I would hope so because I think you'd be a great fit.
I actually looked into an application. I got to have a visa to work in London, unfortunately. Hey, it's all good.
Put it down the line. Keep it there. But
I'm going to figure out something else. I'm going to figure out something else that rivals them, hopefully. But
looking now towards, when it first started taking off, movement and everything, what was that moment like when it first started like taking off? Like, when was the moment like you realized this is actually happening? Like, this is actually working?
I think the beginning of this year, so I worked with this group called Welcome Week, and they do stuff all over. And they did an Austin Welcome Week, and they like recruited me to get on board. I'm actually probably going to be working with them once I graduate too. And they helped me out with that Big X event. And these guys, beginning of the year, the energy's unreal. And so we really capitalized that. And we sold a hell of a lot of tickets. We sold 1,100 tickets on a Thursday and 900 tickets on an event the next day on a Friday for the first week of school. And I'm sure you've been to Summit.
Yes.
And the lights that hang. So the crowd that we had was so intense and full of so much energy. God. I mean, this is just like all freshmen and sophomores in college, mostly freshmen that are just like bursting, just like so ready.
Like, coming out of COVID too.
It's like exorcism type shit.
Demon hours.
Like literally like, this is it, guys. This is college. And so, we had so many people that the lights actually at Summit were bowing. They were like wobbling back and forth, and the guys at Summit was like, holy shit, I've never seen this before. We went downstairs, so it's on the second floor. We went downstairs, and the floor was literally bowing. Like it was like caving in. And these fuckers were right in the middle of the floor. Like, guys, come on, just get out from out of the floor. Like, you don't need to mosh. Like, this is just like another Bad Bunny song, man. Like we'll stop playing Bad Bunny if this keeps happening. Like, come on. That was really a moment. I was like, wow, like this is pretty cool. I mean, obviously it wasn't all my doing by any means, but I mean, me and Alejo handed out flyers under every goddamn door in Jester West. It's like 1,100 doors, man.
Hey, look, and it's what you gotta do.
We were dodging the RAs.
What else goes into the promoting aspect of it? Because I feel like to your point, it seems like a lot of it's just very intuitive, very easy to create these big events. But I guess what's been like your biggest grind that some people might not really get to hear or understand about putting on these events?
Yeah, I mean, just managing everybody's personality, really. And then I would say just like finding the right people that can help you. Like a lot of times you'll recruit people and like, oh, like I'll take like $10, $15 an hour, whatever. But like, are they handing out the flyers under every door? Are they handing out the flyers face up? Are they like we'll have people table on Speedway, and like I like feel like I have to be there because I feel like people aren't doing it properly. Like that kind of thing, like that fear that like it's like it is my child,
it's
and
your baby.
It's my baby, and so I think it's like as it does grow, like it's scary like how involved or how not involved I will have to be down the road at certain things. Like I want this to be passive, but like I don't know, I'm just like kind of wrestling with like how that's going to be possible. I don't know, I just have to let go, I guess. But it's just really just managing people. I mean, DJs are pretty simple, rappers are definitely complex sometimes. But even then, like, I mean, full transparency, argued about the billing. You know what billing is?
Yeah.
So it's where someone goes on a flyer. And for my 420 event, I literally argued with these two bands and like this band's manager for like an hour about being on top. And like just shit like that, man. Like people don't really understand.
The semantics of it. No, I mean, trust me, like that's a lot.
Like I wanted to go eat lunch yesterday, and he was like, my friend was like, "Hey, can you drive to the house? Like, can you drive to go get food?" And I was like, "No, man. Like you got to drive." Like I had to have him drive my car because I was like literally like babysitting these kids, and these kids are in college. I wouldn't say babysitting, I'll take that back, but I was trying to find a solution, and a lot of times it is like you do have to be a people pleaser, and I think that is what's difficult sometimes. You're gonna work with scumbags that own venues. I'm not gonna drop any names, but there's plenty of them. There's plenty of great venue owners. There's plenty of great venue managers, but it's really hard to sift through all that bullshit and mud to find the right people that like you do want representing your event, that will push those ticket links on their stories, artists that will like take the worst slot, the later set time, even though there's less people there, same amount of pay, whatever. It's really just like managing that, and being able to tell people no a lot of times is like honestly a lot of the job. I would say just the semantics, like you said, the nitty gritty, the dotting the T's or dotting the I's, crossing the T's. Dotting the I's, crossing the T's. Yeah. No, I mean, all that shit to be cliche, but
but I think that's just great overall insight on what it takes to really deal with people. I think managing with people. It's just not like black and white. It's just not like, you're doing this and doing this. People have emotions. And I think that you are a manager of emotions for other people. I think that's a big part of the business side of it as well, because it can be just be these numbers and these things and whatnot, numbers, ticket sales. But how do you think that you've grown in your terms of just emotional intelligence dealing with people?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'll tell you a little story. So there was one event I had, and the partner of the venue was the one who I went through to book it. The owner of the venue called me the next day. He's like, "Hey, like, you weren't supposed to have this event. I didn't know it was ticketed, all this." And me knowing who the other guy is, I'm not a big fan of. I go, "Yeah, well, he's a piece of shit for not telling you that." And I got blacklisted from running events at this guy's venues until like 2 or 3 months ago. And me and this guy still hate each other. But I 2 or 3 months ago, I was like, damn, like, I need to make a peace with this man. No matter how much I hate him, he controls so much of you can probably imagine what I'm talking about.
We don't need to.
But I mean, just like understanding that, like, you do have to work with people that you don't like. Being a promoter, being in the music business, like, you're always going to run into people that you don't like. And like you said, it is like managing emotions, like managing relationships. I mean, my ex-girlfriend buys bottles at a lot of my events. Like, how do I deal with that? Like, I want to give her free tickets, but my girlfriend now fucking hates her being there. But like, why would I not give this girl tickets if she's going to buy a bottle? Like, it's little shit like that. I mean, obviously, like, it's boiled down to a much smaller scale. Maybe that might not. Maybe let's take that out. But I mean, seriously, like,
that's as real as it fucking gets. Because it's like, look, like, overall, the more shit that's going on at the venue is better for the brand and for the business.
Yeah, I mean,
and like, it is, again, it's like balancing like this relationship, a business relationship, and a real relationship.
Exactly.
And that's, I think, something that gets downplayed when we talk about people chasing their dreams, because there's a lot of shit you got to put to the side, or people's concerns you got to put to the side to keep doing you.
100%. Yeah, and am I going to have a better bar minimum, or am I going to have my girlfriend be mad at me the whole night? I'm going to take the better bar minimum every time. Like,
every time.
I'm not going to take $400 out of my pocket for one lecture. I mean, come on. Like, I mean, that's just something that I've like had to come to terms with, and she has had to as well.
Well, God bless her for doing so.
Yeah. God bless you. God bless
you.
I mean, these douchebag guys will roll up and they'll be big spenders, like paying bottles, and I have to pat them on the ass, like escort them to their section. Like I walk away. Yeah, you want this? You want the crudo? I got you. Okay, perfect. Then I walk away. Fuck that guy. But not actually. Don't put that.
No. I mean, like, look,
you know what I mean.
like, look. If you think that Sam is not gonna give you the best quality of service at his event, you're absolutely crazy. And I think that overall, like, it is something that, has to be done. I mean, in every situation, you know what I mean? I think there's genuine relationships that persist in every business film, but I think there are guys, especially people that you don't know, one-on-one, that come in, with big asks and big demands, and it makes it hard to really, like, outsource yourself for people that you don't directly know.
Yeah, definitely. I think one thing that I saw that was really cool recently, that bridge event I had. So it was a South by Southwest, like afters event. It was like techno music, that kind of thing. And we set up an entire, we built a DJ booth out of pallets, like wooden pallets.
Fuck yeah.
Sorry. We brought out like generators to power everything, hung up disco balls on this bridge. I mean, it's like completely public property. Like, there were people like biking at fucking 5 a.m.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell is going on? We were still just out there. But at the end of the event, which was probably the coolest thing that's happened to me, like as a promoter, and like the most gratifying thing that's ever happened to me thus far, was when that event was over and we all started cleaning up. There was like 20 people that stuck around that had just attended the event that helped clean up with us.
That's real as fuck.
And so seeing that, I mean, just seeing how grateful they were that we like had curated this experience for them, and that they were willing to stay at fucking 5 a.m. And help clean up, throw away trash, pour out bottles. I mean, some of these people stayed till 6 when we finally left. Yeah. Helped us load like stuff into our trucks, into the U-Haul, whatever.
That's beautiful, man. That's beautiful.
And so really that's kind of like what I am like striving more towards, is creating that community that is grateful to have brought all these people together and have had this experience together. Have that kind of moment like we've kind of discussed a little bit,
absolutely,
where you like go and tell people about it.
You make the magic for people. I think that's such an important thing. At least personally, I've always been a very community oriented person. I just like community is my biggest belief. I just think that creating magic for people is it's so good for your soul. Yeah, it's just so good for your soul to know that like you've touched somebody and made their just lives better for however little of a time possible, seconds, minutes, hours, but I think that's something that definitely, as you said, you can hold your hat on. Yeah. Knowing that, at the end of the day, like, I'm making a good time for people.
Definitely, and like, we didn't make a ton of money on that, whatever. But
absolutely, yeah. No, who cares?
Just,
no, absolutely.
like, I slept so well till 2 p.m. that day.
Literally, it's just like it's the fulfilling stuff. It's the fulfilling.
Exactly, and I think that it boils down back to like when I first showed my movies in middle school and high school, that kind of shit. When I did, like, really my favorite part was the reaction, like I said, like seeing how people reacted. And it's kind of the same thing here, like seeing how people react to my events, if they leave right away, if they leave early, if they don't even show up when they bought a ticket, if they don't even show up if I give them a free ticket, that kind of thing. Like, that hurts my feelings if they don't show up. But at the same time, if they stay till 6 a.m., like, that fills my bucket, man.
Absolutely. No, absolutely.
And so, it is like kind of creating that, seeing people enjoy that experience is even better than enjoying it if I were like an attendee at my own event.
Absolutely. 100%. 100% feel that, man. 100%. Looking at now just the overall, I guess, tips, what are your keys for building a brand, you would say?
I would say you got to just stick to something. Yeah. I think with Movement at first, like I started doing I just started obviously with the college stuff, and then I kind of went into trying to do stuff at clubs and that kind of thing. And the stuff that I co-promoted at clubs fucking sucked because my whole audience was just like kids pretty much. And I was trying to, I like recruited promoters that were in the right demographic, like the 25 to 35 range, whatever, that do go to clubs. But it's so much more than these people just posting for you. It's really like them wanting to post for you. Yeah. And them being excited about being involved about posting for you. And I think that goes so much into building a brand and building that identity is like what you receive for being a part of that community, being like involved with this brand. Like, what am I going to get in return? Like, who am I going to meet? Like, what is this experience going to be like?
Right.
And I think I kind of got a little between things there. I kind of tried to take a few too many steps forward. I had to take a few steps back because I like realized that I was getting too far away from the identity of my brand, which was college events.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it was. And I realized that you can't just like jump into it. And even right now, I'm still kind of struggling, like splitting my audience. I'm trying to do it the best as I can. But yeah, I think just staying consistent about having brand guidelines, having things like making sure everything looks the same way, making sure that you have people alongside you that are just as excited about it as you are, having promoters. I mean, so much of marketing now is just promoters. But these promoters, like, it's like I said, it's one thing if they're just promoting and pushing a link and just posting because they have a bunch of followers.
Right.
But someone that has 10,000 followers, I've literally seen 3 tickets get sold from someone that I paid $100 for a post. Yeah, I know. And I've sold one. I've seen a girl who has 1,600 followers sell 100 tickets in an hour. Yeah. And it really just matters like who it is that is sending that out. What alignment they have with you, like what do they have, what are they gaining from that relationship? Absolutely. And it needs to be like a very what's the word I'm looking for? Not coexisting. Symbiotic.
There we go. Moody Man.
I knew it was some plant stuff. Yeah. The Moody Man goes biology. But it's the symbiotic relationship. Like really, you don't just want someone to be posting and make it feel like it's a favor. Like you want people that are involved with your brand to feel like they are doing it because they're excited about what that brand brings to the table and what the future will be for them. They like want to get free tickets, whatever it may be. But that person who it comes from is so important. And if I feel like even without saying, like if, like I said, that $100 person that posted with tens of thousands of followers, I feel like the entire audience knew it was bullshit. They knew that it was just paid to promo because why is this fucking college brand aligning with this guy?
Why is this 25-year-old pushing me a college brand? No, absolutely.
Exactly. And so it's just, I think really just understanding who you are and who your audience is and staying consistent with it are probably the biggest things I would say to building a brand.
Absolutely. I think that's just great advice overall on how to structure. You pick your people, and even more so focus on those that are excited about your brand and really can identify with your brand. You know what I mean? Yeah. You wouldn't ask a grandma to sponsor like Red Bull or Monster.
Yeah, exactly.
Or like Four Loko. Like, I mean, that actually sounds like a cool commercial, but like you wouldn't tell like let's have Betty White be a spokesperson. Yeah, it actually would
be kind of a crazy commercial.
look at my ad brain just going at this hour.
Push Betty White out of like 10,000 feet.
Betty White and Four Loko. Wouldn't that be something?
That'd be nuts.
How do you find you channel a passion, or how do you hone in on a passion? So how did you pick it? You know what I mean? Like, because I know that you've done film and you've been interested in music, but how do you really hone in on that, and what was that process?
Yeah, so I think when I started going to film classes, I thought it was okay. I mean, I knew that my friends in biology or whatever were having a lot worse a time than I was, even when I was watching The Immigrant for the 4th time, Charlie Chaplin in silent films. But, I think I realized that I wasn't as into it as everyone else was. And I actually was on a film set at one point. I kind of forced myself onto a film set. I was like, I want to do this. Like, I went out there and I just didn't feel like I fit in at all. Really? And I felt weird. It just felt so forced. And I feel like whenever you are trying to find that thing that you really want to do or really like doing, that it just feels like you want to do it. you know, like
it just
feels
right.
It felt like I was at that film set because I was trying to have an internship to put on my resume or whatever. And when I do the music stuff, when I promote or whatever, it's just me like doing things I like doing. I like, it's not painful. I'm not like pulling teeth, you know. It's not. I know it's cheesy, but like whenever you really do find that, like the work doesn't feel like work. Like it's really just kind of building, like taking these steps that are a lot more effortless than like kind of, like I said, trudging through mud or something like that. Like I mean, my friend recently just dropped out of dental school. He was applying to all these dental schools, literally middle of his application process. Was like, fuck this.
Fuck it.
And I think it's really important to realize that, like, if you even have the slightest bit of doubt, like, about where your parents have been forcing you to do or what you've been on the path for your entire life, there's still, I mean, obviously in college, we've got plenty of time
too much time.
Yeah, too much time to sift through whatever it is that you want to do, and way more time than people think to actually, like, figure out what that might be for you. But yeah, I think it's just really just feeling like you have almost a freedom within what you're doing and just genuine excitement. And I think once you like find that, you can tell.
Was it scary for you at first, going into something like knowing that you didn't want to do, if you were a film major, but you didn't really want to do film, and you were taking this degree, and you know this was the track that you were on? Was it scary to jump into something new, into something that wasn't aligned with that?
So I was a lot more excited about jumping into the music stuff than I was about the film stuff, like about I had ever been about the film stuff. Like I said, I mean, really why I applied to film school was I loved movies and I could edit and I kind of knew my way around a camera, and I could sort of write.
Right.
But more than that, it was like with the music stuff, I've always loved DJing. Like anytime I got asked to DJ in freshman or sophomore year, I probably had like 3 or 4 gigs between those 2 years. And that was always like the most fun thing I did in so long.
Right. And
just like looking back at that, I knew that once I started this company, like I was so beyond excited to do it. And I never looked back pretty much. Like I never really thought that I would dip back into the movie stuff, anything like that. I was a little nervous. Like, I mean, I'm still taking classes related to film. I'm in this film class right now. I'm like analyzing the context of goddamn memes. And this class is hard as shit too, dude.
No, Moody's no joke, man. People think it's boo-boo, but it's not all boo-boo.
Yeah, it's not.
It's not all boo-boo.
I'm like, actually, I watched and studied the Harlem Shake for 30 minutes in a class.
That is fun. That's
in an RTF class. No, but then we took a test on it. And I fucking got a 60, bro.
What?
I was talking about memes like for like 3 class periods, then take a test in this class, and everyone got blown out of the water. One of these kids in my class got a 4 out of 30. What? It was insane. It was nuts.
That's actually crazy.
So I'm kind of crawling to the finish line here.
Yeah.
But still, like, if it was something closer to music, I would actually care, you know, like anything like within film now, I'm like, all right, like I understand, like, sure, it's kind of fun, but I know that I need to distance myself more and more from that. And that's not the direction I want to go in, like very clearly at this point.
Yeah, no, I fully feel you on that. I think that, me personally, when I first wanted to come to school, I was really dead set on being like a marketing major, just because, like, you know, it's business and all, like, but I've been creative since I was young. I've been taking photos since I was like 11 years old. So to give that away almost and just go straight into, like, you know, the business world felt like completely just like wrong to do to my core. So that's how I ended up in advertising. And I think that it's a risk that a lot of people don't take. Because, you know, I've always been a business-minded person, and I feel like you as well. And that might be why you looked more towards film. At least, you know, I did for advertising communication, because it removes that math aspect of school, which I think that bogs down a lot of people.
Definitely.
When it comes to just academics, because it's like, one, you're going too fast, or two, like, I just don't think that this is like, I don't need to be graded on this. Like,
Yeah.
I'll have interests, but I don't need you to like sit me down at 10 a.m. and be like, you're taking this exam on math. I'm like, I didn't teach you.
Yeah, and there's so much more, like you said, there's so much more behind that.
Yeah.
That like comes out whenever you're taking these classes, and you're getting graded on like how you analyze the contextual analysis within culture of like the 1800s.
And it's like I really just like I know what I want to do, and that's why I'm in advertising. I'm sure that's why you're in film, because you know you want to produce, you want to be producing things, you want to be making things. And I think that there's a lot of skills you're definitely learning in film, and I think there's a lot of skills I'm learning in advertising. Do I want to go into advertising? I don't really know.
Yeah,
I think I want to start an agency.
Yeah,
I think that's my plan.
Man.
But I think that fucking the idea that you you know, you're in film, but you know you want to go do stuff else. I think it's great that you found, you know, things outside of that, and you're not, you know, being bogged down by the major.
Yeah, I would say that a lot of people are at times bogged down and have trouble figuring out what it is exactly. Yeah, I mean, Alejo and I just happened to meet at the right time, and I was very open to the idea. But before that, I had no idea what I was gonna do. I was like, God, am I gonna be like a editor huddled in the corner for the rest of my life in a dark room?
How grateful are you for that moment?
I'm extremely grateful. Extremely grateful. Yeah, one of the biggest moments ever. Yeah, I don't know what I would do if that hadn't happened. I think it was one thing that like I've always like had belief in myself, and I think that's huge, is you have to have confidence in yourself to like do anything in general. And I think a lot of times people should have a lot more confidence, like we mentioned earlier, in themselves than they do. But a lot of people are just so afraid, especially in college, to actually do it. And I have always been one that just says, fuck it. If this shit hits the fan, whatever, but I'm throwing it.
Take it by the horns.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, I guess that would be another piece of advice I would have, is definitely like, I have learned more in the past year than I would in 10 years of like school, any school, marketing school, design school, whatever. Like, I mean, the things that you learn from actually doing, like running a business, is you're going to get in the real world after just being in college, and you're gonna be like, oh, I'm so ready for this. You're fucking not. Like, I think regardless of what people think, like, you got to start doing stuff as soon as you can, and as much stuff that you do, even if you're afraid of it, it'll take you really far.
100%. No, 100%, man. I think that's great advice. I think that, you know, one, it's a testament to your experience thus far, and I think two, I think you're living it. You know what I mean? So, you know, thank you for that. Yeah. One last thing. I've always loved this. Where do you see yourself in 5 years from now?
Yeah, so that's kind of I don't really know. It could be.
Where do you want to be in 5 years?
Honestly, I think that I mean, I would love to. I think there's a bunch of different things that I would like to do. A lot of different things. I think I always have been interested in a lot of different things. I'd love to like down the road own a restaurant, own some real estate, open some other businesses. But at the same time, I'd love to help put on a music festival. I love art. So really, it's kind of a crapshoot at exactly like where I will be. But I think naturally, if you stay close to these things that you really do like doing, I mean, it's incredible how many opportunities have just unveiled themselves, like rolled out on a red carpet to me. Just because of what I've been doing.
The work.
This. I mean, just recently, these guys reached out to me about doing a hybrid event where it'd be during the day, it's a art gallery showing, and open bar, that kind of thing, and at night it turns into like a rave. And so we're gonna do like something like, we have like plaque with like DJ booth and like a description on like an art plaque. Like that kind of shit, really creative stuff.
That's big shit. That's big shit.
And that's like a 2-day event. Really excited about that. It's gonna be May 19th and 20th. We're working on that right now.
Hell yeah.
But I mean, I would never have gotten that opportunity, and now I'm involved in art a little bit.
You're dabbling.
Cool too.
You're dabbling.
So I think that really, if you just keep grinding. I think people really do recognize the hustle and hard work, and especially as we've talked about, like youth is such a massive currency, and there's so many people that are looking for the next people that will be taking charge of. I mean, we're the people that are going to be ruling the shit pretty soon. It is fucked up to think about my crazy ass. Both of our crazy asses, I guess. But yeah, I mean, you just got to remind yourself that. And I think that if you just continue to stay close to that space and branch out, keep meeting new people, just don't close yourself off. Those opportunities will just present themselves naturally.
Absolutely. And then, two-part of this. What challenges do you think you're going to face over the next 5 years? How do you think you can navigate them?
So, definitely going to have to deal with some more dramatic artists. I know that.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's the dream, though, right? The bigger they get, the warmier they become.
Exactly. Yeah, it's like it just gets like big boy babysitting kind of. The diapers just get larger and larger.
No, absolutely.
But yeah, I mean, I think that, I'd like to do some sort of management stuff. I would love to get involved more like with, I guess, like individual artists rather than just be like a promoter forever. I think I think I will get burnt out as a promoter. And I think that it really sorry, remind me the question.
It was what are the what challenges
do
you think you're gonna face over the next 5 years? And what things what things do you think are gonna get in the way of you chasing your dreams over the next 5 years, and how do you think you might navigate them?
Yeah, and I think it's really just dealing with too many people at once and saying yes to too many things. I think it's really important to figure out exactly which projects you want to take on and which people you want to work with and going with them and not forcing yourself into certain things. And I'm very much like a yes man. Like I said, like I've always been a people pleaser. Like my relationships have always dragged on way longer than they should.
Yeah, that's fair. Same here. Same here, man.
And I think that's one thing that I could see like being a problem in my future. I mean, I acknowledge it, but still like actually doing it, like telling people like, no, like you can't do that, or like, no, you're going to be on the bottom of the fucking flyer.
Right.
That kind of thing. I can see those being some challenges, and I could see that almost being like a wall that I need to climb to get to the next step or the next like level of where I want to be. And I can also see myself getting burnout about promoting. Yeah. I mean, it gets pretty repetitive.
Burnout's really hard to deal with. I had burnout for like I went so full deep into this idea, into this project that, I mean, for the next year and a half, I was like, I'm not doing shit.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, whenever I like was on spring break, I like couldn't even think about promoting anything like that.
To speak to burnout, how do you navigate burnout?
So I think I have some days that I guess you could call them. My teacher actually, he started a company called Score More Productions and got bought by Live Nation. Shout out Sasha.
Hey,
he was my professor last semester, but he talked about I think he called them purple days. And so I think everybody has purple days, like days where you just need to just sit in your room, just hide in a blanket, smoke some pot, and just like turn on some movies. And I think that's completely normal. And you just operate day by day. And sure, like if you get behind, and then you just kind of deal with that. But I think navigating burnout is something that everybody has to do. I think there's going to be days, no matter how much you love your job, you're going to need a personal day.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's getting more and more prevalent where all these companies are giving... Maybe they're giving too many mental health days. Now
I saw unlimited PTO. I'm like, what?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, shit. I'll sign me up,
Yeah, seriously.
Don't blame me when I abuse it.
Yeah. Hey, I'm having my 50th mental health day. I have to take it off.
Yeah, no, I have to, or the world's gonna end.
Yeah. And I think that culture is getting little too saturated, but at the same time, I think it is super important to, I mean, when you need to step back.
No, absolutely.
And I think it's different I think burnout is different than knowing when you need to go to a different project or when you need to completely change your job. And I think you just really need to be brutally honest with yourself and say, like, how long do I want to be doing this? I mean, I don't want to be running college events forever. I didn't even want to be running college events for like a year and a half.
No, I mean, I don't blame you. We all got to move on.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to be liable for these kids, man.
Yeah, no. Not at all.
But I mean, I think that there's definitely different like levels of burnout. There could be like entire career changes. There could be burnout where you're just need a day off or 2 days off or whatever, or you just need to stop talking to those kind of people. But I think really just being honest with yourself and not being ashamed of it, but just recognizing that you do need a break and seeing what needs to change, what needs to give, what needs to take, whatever.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And then I think one thing I have this letter that's coming to me in a month. I'm getting this letter. Yeah. I wrote it when I was 16, and I was supposed to get it on my 21st birthday. I'll be turning 21 in May. So I love this idea of if there was something you wish you would have known at 16 that you know now, what would it be?
Ooh. I guess pretty much shit.
It's tough, I know.
I guess maybe figuring out sooner that, I mean, I like in the back of my head, I always knew that like I loved music and like that's really what I wanted to do. And I don't regret coming to UT Austin at all. I mean, the connections I've made here, the city, it's the live city capital of the world, live music capital of the world. Yeah. But I think that if I had just known when I was 16, like that's exactly like what I want to be doing, and maybe get exposed to more clubs, that kind of thing.
Hard at 16.
Yeah, hard at 16 and hard in Fort Worth, Texas.
Yeah.
But I don't know, I also was just, I mean, I was wearing fucking khaki shorts and t-shirts and I was like, I mean, man, I went to a private school, dude. It was bad. And like the first time I came to college, I was like, holy shit, people wear whatever the fuck they want. Yeah. And so I think that was one thing, is like no one really gives a shit who you are and what you're doing. Like just do yourself. Yeah. So I think that's one thing, is like you don't have to conform to anything.
Fuck yeah.
I guess that's what I would tell myself at 16.
Hell yeah, man. Well, I just want to thank everyone for being here today and to listening to the podcast. Thank you, Sam.
Yeah.
True gentleman, true lad, for being here today, and just being his true, authentic self. I think that too often times, today we hide our true selves, and we hide things that we don't want to say. And I think that talking through them in a way that's true and real is important. And I think that doing things with your life are also important in the same vein. Doing things that you find fulfilling and that motivate you and get you out of bed in the morning.
Absolutely.
So thank you all so much for listening, and we'll catch you next time.
And thank you, Justin. Appreciate it, man.
Oh, of course, brother. Always. Salud.